Hello and welcome to the fifth video in the Project Sovereign series. In this video, I'll further refine the model by defining the saucer shuttle bay, adding the command and bridge towers, and adding the impulse engines. We're going to have a lot of fun today, so let's get started. So the time has come to start refining the saucer further, and I thought a great place to start would be this divot here for the main shuttle bay, or we'll just call it Shuttle Bay One, because I think that's what they call it in the movies. But anyway, it's just simply going to be an extrusion to carve out this wedge shape right here, and then the rest of it just blends in with the rest of the saucer curvature. So this should be a pretty simple operation. I'm a little concerned with edge loops, but I know that anything at least going up this way is going to be covered by this structure right here, so I'm not too worried about that. And anything that's down here, I might just curve into this area because it's a tight shape anyway, and it may even be covered by these impulse engines. So shouldn't be a difficult problem to solve, and I don't foresee any major issues putting the shape in, so let's get started. So I've done a bit more refining, and it turned out to be not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Things are turning out to be pleasant surprises on this model, and I know I just jinxed myself, but so far so good. So not too much to do really to refine this little pocket area. I added an edge loop here because this was a triangle right here, so I turned this into a quad, and it serves double duty of really tightening this up because this is a really sharp corner where the doors hit, I guess, this tarmac thing right here. So that worked out well. I also added another edge here because this was a triangle too. You know, there might be a better way to resolve this, but this is working for now, and I want to move on to other parts. Finally, the most challenging part of this is this corner edge loop right here. This is meant to hold not so much this corner, this edge right here, because this is already pretty well held, but it's good to have it there anyway, but it's more to hold this. I didn't want this to be too rounded. I want it to be nice and sharp. Unfortunately, it created a loop that had no choice but to come out and around. But fortunately, yeah, I thought it was going to be terrible because it was going to have to go all the way around the saucer, but it sort of hides, you know, it found its way through here and through this channel, which is already tightened up, so I don't need to worry about smoothing that out. And it turned out to be pretty good. See, so that's just making that tighter. You know, I could probably play around with this area in here, but it's not that bad. and it made this corner nice and sharp. So we've got a good curve here, a nice curve down. This area, I still need to adjust some of the new edges that I put in, So I'll continue to adjust that, but this area is pretty much finished. Now, before moving on to the impulse engines, I noticed something in the plans here. These are very rounded off. These edges, these corners are very rounded off, but the filming miniature has much sharper angles. So I just want to point out that it is really important that you supplement your research with actual shots from the film or pictures of the filming miniature, because oftentimes there's these little discrepancies. I believe those plans were from the CG miniature, so there are bound to be little differences. So just giving myself and everybody else a heads up that there are differences, and I need to stay vigilant in order to make sure they don't crop up into my model. So moving on. So I've done more refinement to the impulse engines. There's a lot more work that had to go into them than was first apparent, but I've gotten it much closer to what we see in the movie. And you can see there's a lot more curvature to them. There's also, underneath here, there's a bit more going on. There's curvature, and they're also canted in. You can see they're sort of trapezoidal in shape, so a lot more complicated than I originally gave them credit for. But we're getting there. Also worth noting is these are actually much deeper. They go much deeper, which means they cut into the saucer. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to wait until I freeze the turbo smooth, until I collapse all the stack, and then this just becomes, you can see, this will look like this geometry-wise, and then I'll be able to cut a hole into this saucer section so this can be recessed further, because that's the way it is. Right now it's much too shallow. So this is going to be a project with many steps, and I'm going to have to keep them all sort of in mind so I don't trip over myself. So these are, not done, but they're pretty much there. And again, they look a lot different from this plan, but that's okay. As long as they look like what they look like in the movie, I'm satisfied. So I'm going to move on from these. In the next video, we'll do this triangular undershape. You can see right here. That comes all the way around here, blends in with everything. So it's going to cover all of this up. And we'll also refine this main deflector area, as well as the quantum torpedo / captain's yacht system right here. So still lots more to do, still lots more fun to come. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.